Hey, what's going on everyone, this is iReviews back with another video, and today we're talking about iOS 26.4, which is currently on its second beta, and it is packed with new features and changes. So in today's video we have more features to talk about, also everything else you need to know regarding this update, and of course the upcoming iOS 26.4 beta 3 and the release date for this update. Now before we get into all that, I just want to ask you guys for a really quick favor. Most of you guys that watch my videos are currently not subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the videos and you want to see more of them, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel a lot. Now we're starting things off with some more new features we have been able to discover on iOS 26.4, and one of them is right here on the phone app. When you get a notification for a missed call, now you will see the city and also the state right there, which is really awesome and of course very useful. So if you live in the US, you will get again the state and the city right there under the missed call. Under the Shortcuts app, we have also a small change here. When you go to customize the icon for any of your shortcuts, you will now find a new glyph. So if you go right here on the devices section, you will see now we have the flip phone glyph underneath the devices section, which is pretty cool. And as you probably know by now, iOS 26.4 will bring a ton of new features and changes to the music app, and one of them can be found to the playlist. So when you go to your playlists and you go to customize one of them, you will see now that you actually have a new cover for the playlist. So let's go ahead and try to edit this playlist. If we go to the cover, we have now a new dynamic cover which we can actually add to the playlist, and it's this one right here. So you will get a new dynamic cover for your playlists. With the music app, you can use SharePlay to share your music, and now you get a QR code which you use to share the music. Now you got the QR code even before iOS 26.4, but you can see now there's actually a totally new design for the QR code. It's much bigger and much easier to actually be scanned by anyone that wants to join on your music. We have another small change here on the podcast app. Now the podcast app has also gotten a few cool new features with iOS 26.4, like the ability to now view the podcast with the video, which is really awesome. But you also get now a new glyph icon for the sleeper timer right here. So if you want to add the sleeping time right here, you get now a new glyph. There is also an update to subtitles. So if you go to the TV app and you tap the three dots right there, you go to subtitle, you can see now you have style. If you go there, you will have a few different styles to actually choose from, and you also have a section here to manage the styles, which will basically send you to the settings app on your iPhone where you can manage the different styles that you have. Now iOS 26.4 beta 2 will also bring age verification in UK, so you will have this new basically setup or whatever you want to call it, which will basically ask you to confirm if you're plus 18. And now let's move on and talk about the battery on iOS 26.4 beta 2, which is of course very important when it comes to new updates. So let's go to the battery section here. So here we have the battery usage for the last few days, and you can see right here it's actually doing pretty good. With 69% battery, we have over 7 hours right there, 83% battery usage, 9 hours 11 minutes, and then right here about 4 hours with 42% battery usage. Again, battery usage, battery life is actually very important when it comes to new updates, even though this update doesn't have the great battery life that iOS 26.3 has, but it's again still on beta, and hopefully it will improve with the next betas until the final release. But it's okay in my opinion being on a beta, especially the second beta. It's still okay, so it's something that you can actually use every day on your device, and you won't have a problem with the battery draining fast or something like that. The performance is also looking really good, and it shows right here numbers on Geekbench 6. So we have the single core score at 3,783, while the multi-core score is at 9,846. Now, of course, there should be even a better performance in the next betas, so we will do tests on that, of course, but otherwise, even using it on daily basis here, it's actually very smooth. The animations are smooth, everything works really fast, and you won't actually have any big problems with this update. So what's next for iOS 26.4? Well, of course, the third beta, and as you know probably by now, Apple is actually moving on a weekly schedule when it comes to releasing new betas for iOS 26.4. They have released the second beta just a week after the first beta, and I'm expecting, of course, another beta to come out this upcoming week. So March the 2nd should be the date that Apple releases the third beta of iOS 26.4. Now, that's really exciting because Apple has done great with this update. They have released amazing new features and quite a lot of them. So I'm hoping with third beta we will also get some other amazing features alongside, of course, some really cool improvements to the current features that they have added with the first couple of betas. Now, as far as the final release goes, I would expect it to happen sometime right here by the end of March. So if we get the third beta right on the 2nd, then of course every week we get a new beta, the 9th, beta 4, beta 5 right here. I expect this update to actually have 5 betas. It might be one more, one less, but I think at least there will be 5. In that case, the RC should be the 23rd or the 24th of March, expecting this update then to be released to the public, most likely on March 30th, which is usually the time that Apple releases new software updates, especially when it comes to bigger updates. You expect them to be released on a Monday. And last but not least, let's talk about whether you should update or not to the new iOS 26.4 beta. Now, as you probably know, the public betas are also out, and by the time that Apple releases a public beta, you know that the update is actually quite safe even for the public to install and use on their daily drivers. Even though if you're on iOS 26.3, I have to tell you that you will have a bit of better battery life with iOS 26.3 than you have on iOS 26.4. But of course, if you want to try out the new features, you can just update to iOS 26.4 and you won't even have a terrible battery life. It's quite good actually, but not as good as iOS 26.3, and that might be the only problem for you updating to this new software update. So that's basically it for this video, guys. iOS 26.4 is actually shaping up to be probably the biggest update to iOS 26. You know, we're already in 2026 and almost in spring now, and Apple will start moving towards iOS 27, which will be released on its first beta in June. So don't expect any more really big updates to iOS 26 after iOS 26.4 is released to the public. Of course, there will be more updates, but they will probably be much smaller than iOS 26.4. So that's basically it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and you found it helpful. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next one.